Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Brock the Collector here, coming back to you with another video. Today we are going to be going over the Marvel Legends Spider-Man No Way Home Wave 2, Retro Carded Wave 2023 Spider-Man No Way Home Wave, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be taking a look at all 6 figures in the wave. And, well, yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. You guys already know the hype surrounding this film. You guys already know that it was a pop culture phenomenon. You guys already know how long it took Hasbro to pump out these figures, and you guys already know how excited we all are to get our hands on the... Where in the world did I put my knife? Already sort of went into all the different, perfect storm of situations that caused this wave to come out when it did. And I mean, I've done that in pretty much every single video I've talked about No Way Home stuff. At the end of the day, toys just take time to make, but I'm excited to be going through the first figure in this wave we're going to be going through, which is this Sandman. I'll be talking more about the card art and stuff like that on later figures. But as for this Sandman, man, it's really freaking cool. I'm actually pretty blown away by it, especially for one of the less anticipated figures in the wave for me. I really do like this. This Sandman, it's there's not too much to really look at, but there is a good amount to sort of there's a good amount to absorb with this small amount of what the figure actually provides. The main thing for me is the head sculpt. Look at that head, man. That head is freaking insane. I don't know the actor's name. It's eluding me right now, but that really looks like him in the sand form, man. They've really done a really nice job with the texturing on this figure. Although I'd say the weakness of the figure lies within the paint application on the sand. Of course, it could all be one color. But I do appreciate the fact that they sort of implemented this different sort of shading to it. I just feel like they could have gone harder and really made it look really like a Sandman, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, this is a far better figure than I anticipated this to be. I was expecting this figure, if they were going to make it, to come with like this sort of cone-shaped legs, like no legs, just sort of a cone-shaped lower body. But fortunately, we do get legs with this guy, and we get a few accessories with him, which makes for a pretty interesting figure. I'm not even gonna lie. Some of the ankle articulation is causing this to be a bit cumbersome. There we go. Yeah, but this is a nice figure though. The head sculpt is great. Yeah, there you go. There's a Sandman. There's a Sandman. I like this. I like this. So really, articulation of this figure is it's a basic bloke Marvel Legend. You know, you're gonna get some pretty good range out of this these days, although some of the sculpting is going to inhibit the range. This doesn't seem like a sculpt that they can easily reuse. I'm gonna admit I'm lost with the parts and pieces on Marvel Legends figures nowadays. I don't know what's reused from what usually. All I know is if it's pinless, it makes it incredibly hard for me to recognize. I'm not even gonna lie. This figure may be reused parts from some figure that I don't know about. All I know is that this seemed new to me. This seemed fresh, and I like fresh, especially for a nice little villain here. The villains are the ensemble of the No Way Home cast we got to complete. We got plenty of Spider-Mans from the film, even if they are different suits for the same guy. But villains is one thing that we are lacking. So with inclusions like the Green Goblin and this Sandman, I feel like we're really heading towards a good direction as far as villains go for the film. And finally going to start fleshing out that section of the shelf a bit more. But yeah, this Sandman, honestly, that's all I can really say about him figure-wise. He just looks really good. If you guys want to see some of the other accessories, he's got a second hand that you can sort of use this thing on. I bet I'm using these cones in the wrong hand, though. The only thing is that with the legs being this tiny, these sort of look a little bit weird. But I do like this. Let's see. Like, it'd be nice if he had some, like, sort of like a sturdier freaking leg thing. Some sturdier, like, lower shins that you could also try this on. But I can see how that would interfere with the ankle pivot. Maybe something that you could, like, plug his feet into. You know, a bit of engineering there. But, yeah, this isn't bad. Yeah, not bad, Sandman. Not bad. All right, let's do some comparisons. We'll be comparing him with more figures later on. But as for now, what I got for you is the Infinity Saga Spider-Man. You can see he is an appropriate amount taller than the Peter, which is very nice looking, although I've heard that there's the other Tom Holland Spider-Man figure in this wave is actually scaled a bit differently, so we'll see how that looks next to the Peter. So we'll see how that looks next to Sandman. And then remember when we thought that Sandman was one of these elemental MFs from No Way Home? Wait, was it No Way Home? Sorry, no, Far From Home. You got Nick Fury there to go along with him. I'm still looking for a a fabric cape for this guy. But there you go. Take a look at that. So I'm liking this Sandman. Let's move on. Next up, we got MJ. And the one thing I wanted to mention on the cards is that, like, Marvel Legends have very different retro cards than from the, what's that other toy line called? Star Wars Black Series. These retro cards are, I think that they're unique, and they're like, the laminated piece that surrounds the Star Wars Black Series cards is very easy to peel off, whereas these Marvel Legends, it's like insulated in like a double cardboard sort of thing. So it just makes the card feel like higher quality, and it's really nice. And you see all these figures got, all of these figures except for some reason the Andrew Garfield has the No Way Home wave stuff on the back, or the No Way Home promotional art. And then you also got a very nice bio for each of the characters. If you can read MJ's, you can pause here and take a look at that. But let's open up our second Zendaya Coleman Mary Jane figure. Or what's her name? Michelle Jones? Yeah, Michelle Jones figure. And hey, this is a nice one, especially if you missed out on the first MJ. There's not much new going on here, though. What I will say, looking at the figure, it looks very nice. It's a very nice, serviceable MCU Zendaya Mary Jane. The few things I will say, though, is that I believe the lower body, apart from the crotch down here, the legs are reused from the last one. As you can see here, pins, technology up in there. I believe maybe the crotch is new, the sort of groinal piece. Moving up from that, I think the under chest is new. This sweater that you see her have on here is an overlay, and that's supposed to sort of invoke a look from the film in which I believe she had a sweater like this on. And I also think that, like, it's very baggy. You can see how they make her arms look very baggy. And I'm pretty sure that in the comics and animated series especially, MJ wore very baggy clothes. So maybe that's an homage to that within the costume designers. That's pretty interesting to hear. Let me know more about that if that is the case. But I believe that the overlay under, or the actual body under this overlay, is the reused from the last MJ without the jacket. So you got that going on there. But the one thing that I personally don't like about the figure is the face. I don't think that this face is as good as the last ones. Here's a take a look at one of the other ones from that 2-pack. I have this on the spinneret body, as you guys know, because I was effing around. And now this one isn't the best one. Like, this is one of my least or less favorite ones out of the two in that 2-pack. But I also feel like, I don't know, something about this face is just not doing it for me. It doesn't really seem, it seems like a deep fake version of Zendaya. This one is closer, still doesn't seem like Zendaya all the way. The other one, I feel like, is 100% Zendaya. Looks like that one blonde woman from the Kardashian show. I don't know her name. Something Jenner. Maybe she's a Kardashian. I don't keep up with that show at all. But you guys know the blonde one I'm talking about, right? The one that's like a white woman, sort of. This is what it looks like. It looks like a darker, more melanated version of her. But as for the articulation, I mean, it's pretty base. I don't want to say it's basic, but look, actually, it's a bit less than the average Marvel Legend. You do have some good range at the arms there. She can really look like she throws a punch. And I do like the aesthetics that they used for the sweater. That really looks natural. It really looks like the figure is truly actually wearing it, even though it's sculpted up in there. So it doesn't just look like they painted a sweater over her arms. Down to the sort of belt here, it sort of seems like, I don't remember whether or not it was a short sweater or whether or not she had it tucked into her pants, but it's kind of strange to have a sweater tucked into your pants. So I'm gonna believe that this is just a shorter sweater, stylish. You can ask the ladies all about that. Ask any one of my sisters. I can tell you anything about style. She got the yams back there, as you can see. Yeah, there we go. So the one on the right is my absolute favorite. That is perfect. This one, she looks a wee bit like a crackhead, just a wee bit, just a little bit. Like, if you go too much further into that, Zendaya, we're gonna have to send you to Elon. But this is, I like this better. This isn't bad though. So if you need an MJ and you're not trying to pay all the crazy prices for this one is better, and it's probably also a more serviceable figure too for your No Way Home display. Little omission, I forgot to go over accessories. MJ comes with this Modclava thing that is kind of important to your No Way Home diorama if you're going to build one, so you can't just skip over the shorty. And she also comes with these two interchangeable open hands that a lot of ladies have come with over the years. I believe that those are the same sculpt as the other ones. All right, back to this. I wonder how many of you guys actually understood the Elon joke. Look at that. A brand new suited, okay, brand new, whatever. A brand new suited body for a Marvel Legends character. And that being Matthew Murdock in his first appearance in the actual greater Marvel Cinematic Universe at that. Look at that. Immortalized as a figure. You got, what's the guy's name? Charlie Cox? If it's not Charlie Cox, I apologize. I'm going to call him Charlie Cox. Charlie Cox's digital render up on a Marvel Legends figure. Again, that's in not some super duper incredibly expensive freaking, what was it, like a 4 or 5 pack that was exclusive to SDCC? Yeah, I like this, man. Matthew Murdock is a character that really, honestly, he truly transcends the actual MCU in his own right, because, you know, a lot of people have been wondering about the Netflix rights and, you know, whether or not they're actually in Marvel. A lot of them do directly reference events in Marvel, but they're not exactly in it, you know, and most of it is just legal issues that you can't go into. But for the most part, I'm going to admit I didn't consider the Netflix verse as a part of my, you know, Marvel Cinematic Universe. So thus being the case, I never actually added it to my display. Same going with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But honestly, I can't even lie. If there was any reason to go back, it would be now with this figure coming out. Because this Matthew Murdock is so freaking beautiful. I love this figure. Down to even just the minor detailing in the face. Like, this really looks like him. I'm not brave enough to take off these goggles. I bet if you do, you'll be greeted with a nice Charlie Cox face. I'm sure that people have attempted to take them off. The face seems thinner than the previous Daredevil face that we had in the line. The face seems thinner than the one that came in the SDCC pack. But honestly, it's performing what it needs to, man. He also comes with the brick that the dude threw through the freaking window at Aunt May. You know, guys, I had a weird freaking dream, and this just goes to show how much of a freaking nerd I am that I have dreams like this. But I had a weird dream that we already had an Aunt May figure for some reason. I don't know why. Woke up in the morning and I'm just like, huh, that Matthew Murdock figure is gonna look pretty good next to my Aunt May. I'm only to realize, shit. Anyway, so yeah, this brick is very nicely printed and detailed. Look at that. It says "We Believe Mysterio" up on there. That looks pretty freaking cool. You can actually damn near read the scripture on the newspaper. Yeah, you can read it. It says NYC right there. It's incredibly difficult to pick up on cam. You guys are just focusing on my freaking rustic ass freaking nails. But guys, you can, honestly, the detail that's in this newspaper, amazing. I wonder if they just took any basic local newspaper, or if they actually like took the prop from the film and made this. I bet that they did something like took the prop from the film. They often do stuff like that. But yeah, look at that. It looks pretty cool. I saw some promotional art where they put this guy into like the same pose where he's actually like catching it. For me, he has these webbed fingers. Look at that. Ugh. Yeah, no, I don't have the patience to do all that. But all I know is that you can do it if you wanted to. Maybe if you want to put some glue up in there. Look at that. He holds it kind of well. Although he's going to drop that any second now. But yeah, no, this is cool. Let's get this guy next to MJ there. I don't know if they actually shared a scene together, though, to be fair. I don't remember. But let's get that next to MJ and then next to Peter. Nice. Matthew Murdock. And then next to the other figure that we reviewed from the wave. Look at that. Cool. We're really assembling that No Way Home ensemble, guys. This is what we've been waiting for years. There's She-Hulk next to Daredevil, by the way, for you Marvel. Oh, and if you're curious on the articulation on Matthew Murdock, he got a vertical hinge at the neck. I wish that this guy had more tilt to him, though, to be fair. This is one of those figures where I'd accept the double ball peg more. But yeah, you got the vertical hinge to the neck. You got pretty good articulation on the arms. Comes up to about yay far. Not the absolute most, because nowadays we see Marvel Legends that full-on be doing, like, full-on damn near... It's full-on 180 turns on Marvel Legends freaking arms nowadays. Legs are the Moon Knight legs, which are usually the Mr. Knight legs, which come super stiff. Gosh damn. Come up to about that far. The suit looks very nicely tailored. Mr. Murdock, you clean up well. The only thing is that gray is one of my least favorite colors, so I suggest getting purple next time. But you don't want to look like... Never mind. All right. Yeah, all right. So let's move on. We're taking it with Andrew, who comes on an Amazing Spider-Man 2 card. I don't know anything about license rights or licensing or none of the sort. All I know is that I love this. This looks cool. It's probably the Amazing Spider-Man 2 card is probably the only way that they were able to get this this figure out there with the Andrew Garfield head. But all I know is that the Amazing Spider-Man 2 It's not one of my favorite films ever, but I have an attachment to it because it is the first ever Spider-Man film I had seen, and I didn't even really remember any of it other than MJ freaking died horrifically at the end. I was 6 when I watched it, so yeah, that was crazy. It was crazy to watch that. But yeah, all right, let's crack this guy open. I actually rewatched this movie this year. Still, I'm not a huge fan. Looking at him now, I realize I've gotten into a very much a Flash-like pose. But anyways, here is Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. This one being the singular release we see in this wave. And of course, as I said, or as many people have probably said, I haven't actually seen a single review on this wave, but as many people have probably said, that I think that this is the exact same as the other version, like the exact same body-wise. No differences in paint deco or anything like that. As far as I'm aware, and this looks the exact same to me. I will personally am just a wee bit disappointed by that because I wanted one of these figures to have this sort of lighter blue that you see in the No Way Home concept art. And I know that for some reason my camera is making his blue appear far lighter than it is. Guys, believe me, this is quite a dark blue. And yeah, no, I just wish it was a bit lighter in person. But as for this, I gotta say, not bad. The head sculpt, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite. There are angles like this where I really just don't like it. Like, I think it looks like James Franco. Then there are angles like this where I think it looks like, especially like from here down, when we get like that eyeshadow from above the forehead, I think that really looks like Andrew Garfield. So, I don't know. The hair is pretty freaking cool. I think the hair looks all right, but the head sculpt isn't the best I've seen. You do have some of that sort of like that 5 o'clock shadow that he got going on, which is pretty freaking interesting. I do like that they were able to execute that on the figure without making it look like absolute garbage like some other figures have this year. Phase 2 Clone Trooper. And then, yeah. But overall, I mean, like, it's not a bad head, but this figure is really just one that if you're picking it up again and you already have the 3-pack, you're only getting it for the head because you have everything else here that the 3-pack had to offer. You can see all the freaking texturing all up in there. It's got some of the best range we got on a double jointed elbow. Okay, actually, no, it does not. Okay, no, it does not. But but that's really good. That's really good for a double jointed elbow. That's also really good. There's just some far better competition out there. No, it's just a nice looking Spider-Man figure. It feels like a Spider-Man figure. It's a nice cinematic Spider-Man figure. And honestly, you guys got to admit, even though y'all may rag on Marvel Legends, the best thing that this figure has done is drive down the excruciating prices of the Mafex figures and actually provide you with a very, very, very nice alternative at a far cheaper price, even if the price is higher than it would have been, say, 5 or so years ago. Not even, say, 2-3 years ago. Yeah, no, this is cool. I like this. All right, mind you, this wasn't the easiest pose to execute, and I know that MJ looks less than enthusiastic about being saved, and Peter looks more than intrigued by what the sight of his saving, or side of his savings, whatever, his form of gratitude. Okay, I hate to. Yeah, should I just cut this part out of the video? All right, in this pose, it looks like he's trying to grip the world in his hands like he's a movie villain. But here is the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. This one, I feel like, is a bit different from the last one. I'm probably completely wrong in that statement. But this one, I don't know, it feels like the red is different, maybe? One thing I can say is that, I mean, honestly, on the Spider-Man, I just wish that, for Andrew, I wish that the reds were lighter. For this figure, I wish that the reds were darker. I wish that this was a darker red going throughout the suit, especially just on the areas there. The Andrews, I feel like, is pretty accurate to his Spider-Man 2 appearance, whereas this one, I feel like, is a bit different in how it actually looks from the Raimi films. And I don't know whether or not, it probably definitely is a new suit that they used for the completely new suit that they used for the costume in the film. But honestly, at the end of the day, I don't know. All I know is that I just feel like this figure would look cooler with a bit of a more different red. But honestly, again, I think it's still the exact same as the other one that we got. It's got the two twip hands. I went over all these figures already. So 2 twip hands, which is pretty freaking cool. But the main attraction here is the Tobey Maguire head, which looks not bad. Again, it's not the best that they've done. Like, me personally, I feel like this looks like somebody who I know. It looks like somebody who I know. It looks like somebody who I'd see at school. It looks like the one substitute teacher, or sorry, not the one substitute teacher, the one teacher, new teacher who's like young, and you know, you can tell that he kind of hates it here, but he has the students he gets along with. He has those couple girls in his class that call him cute. behind his back. He looks like, he just looks, he does look like Tobey Maguire, I guess. He does look like Tobey Maguire. I ain't mad at him. Yeah, it's not bad. The eyes look really freaking good. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. But the head, because of the double ball peg, you guys know how much I love the double ball peg, but again, as I said on the 3-pack video, on Spider-Man, it's not great. And for this Spider-Man especially, he can't look down at all. Look, that's the most that he's going to get. And then you got this really ugly looking thing back here. I don't know. I don't understand what it would take for them to do it again, like how they did it on Shang-Chi. Maybe it's because of this figure, the sculpted details you had to have going around the neck. But I feel like it would be worth trying to get this figure to update that ball peg system, or just give him a vertical hinge, as I feel like all Spider-Man should be if everything went my way. He has a separate neck piece here, which I don't know why. It seems like you could pop that off. Maybe if somebody wanted to try that, you could. I don't know if that's something that they're implementing for the future. They had to do something else with this body. We already know we're most likely going to get a Venom suit on this. Who knows how long it's going to take. I'm not throwing out any predictions, because I thought the Mark II was going to come the exact same year as the Mark III, and it came 2 to 3 years later. So I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to go along with the flow, and I'm just going to say that this is a pretty nice looking head sculpt. There it is. Again, I feel like the mask looks kind of off on this figure, but it's not bothering me as much as it is some other people. But I feel like this is the one where a lot of people prefer the SH Figuarts, whereas, you know, I'm just cool having a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Look at that. Sick. Excuse the fact that this is an inaccurate figure, but yeah, I like this. This is cool, and the more I'm starting to like this pose back here. But shh. So, first impressions. What are my thoughts on it? It's a nice movie Spider-Man figure. The mistakes that they made with the No Way Home 3-pack are similar in appearance to what we're seeing here, and there's one main thing. The main thing that I'm thinking of when I say that, that is number 2, the lack of articulated toes that could really, 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 really boost this figure over the edge, like incredibly far. But that is the double ball peg. Now, the double ball peg, guys, I love the double ball peg. Look at that sexy ass tilt. But he cannot move his head downward at all. He can't do it. Upward, you know, that's all right. Downward, shit. That's the best that you got. You know, you're going to have to implement some of the torso and all that into that. But overall, I mean, really, I like this. It's not, the blue is far better than I thought that it'd be. The red leaves something to be desired. The painted web lines look very nice, very crisp. I tend not to take super duper close looks at my figures because sometimes I just don't want to see any QC issues. I think, personally, I think that my copy came out fine. I can't really be asked to, like, reference the web lining with the movie. I'm not that deep into the game. I'm sure that some people will notice, like, an irregular pattern of web lining. I think some people were talking about the web lines up towards the chest, that something was wrong with them, if I believe. But overall, I love this freaking Spider-Man suit, one of my most anticipated figures, and honestly, this figure really does not disappoint. Everything in aesthetics and appearance, I love this. I'm not in love with the Peter Parker head that they gave it. It seems to be the same basic one that they've given to this Tom Holland and then the other one. The only thing is that this one seems bigger. Wait, hold on. Are these 2 different heads? The hair is sculpted exactly the same. This head that came with this Spider-Man seems bigger. You know, you can see the eyes there. Maybe perhaps it's just more depth in the photo, but for some reason, these seem like the same sculpt, but they do not seem like the same head. This one has more of a matte spray of pride, as you can see there, and it just makes it look better. I do like the head sculpt on this figure. The Tom Holland Spider-Man head sculpts are not usually the best, and I feel like maybe, I don't know, I feel like maybe they're just having trouble nailing, like, his, like, that way his actual head looks in the figure. Like, if they created some other digital technology that, like, fully allowed you to fully reprint the entire face sculpt and not just 3D face printing, then I feel like, or a head sculpt, then I feel like you'd have something very nice there. Put him into sort of like an x-ray machine and see how that technology would do. But honestly, it's a nice looking Spider-Man mask. You sort of see the errors in some of the sculpts and the lack of sharpness in the sculpt is sort of lost when you look at the depth of, it's sort of lost in the depth of the web lines, because the web lines really do add another layer of detail to this figure that is sorely lacking from other movie Spider-Mans. But overall, yeah, I really like this. There's really good articulation on this figure. It's got some nice butterflies. I've heard that some people's arms be popping off. Be careful with that. But it's got some nice butterflies. I'm sure that some modders could articulate and create a way to get more articulation out of these, because for some reason Hasbro's butterfly joints tend to not do all that they can do. It's got, of course, the super articulation at the torso on a movie Spider-Man, a Tom Holland one. Not the best super articulation though, like it doesn't come as far as some others. But that's pretty freaking good going. It's got the drop down hips just like the Toby and the Andrew. This one's pretty freaking good. You can sort of see there the effect that that has, so that'd be nice for posing. Like, look at how that blue is shining. You see, I like this. I like this. It just seems a bit too dark. Like, it doesn't seem like the right shade of blue, especially when you compare with the film. I do like the blue better in person, but maybe perhaps the SH figure arts I feel like got it down packed perfectly. And I'm also pretty surprised by the lack of texturing that we see in the actual blue areas of the suit, because SH figure arts got that down. Hasbro's usually really good with the texturing, as you can see on the Andrew and the Toby. But perhaps they were just working extra fast with this version. It would have been nice to see the texturing on that, though. I mean, honestly, yeah, this is just, it just sort of, it is what it is. Like, it's not bad. If I compare it, first of all, let's take a look at the back. I don't know what inaccuracies with this figure I can point out, because I've only seen the movie 2 times, believe it or not, and both of those times were in the theater back in 2021. So I couldn't tell you all the inaccuracies. And also, to be fair, this appearance barely had any screen time. But I can tell you what the figure does come with. Comes with 2 fists, comes with 2 whip hands, and then it comes with the interchangeable head. And all these have painted web lines on them. They all look very freaking nice. But let's see this wave all together. So we got a nice ensemble of figures here. The Peter Parker figure seems to be taller. Or I'm going to say Peter Parker figure. It's going to get confusing. The Tom Holland figure seems to be taller than previous Tom Holland figure counterparts. I don't know whether the others are shorter or the Tom Holland here is taller. Or I don't know whether the others are shorter than they're supposed to be, or this Tom Holland is taller than he's supposed to be. But you can tell there is some sort of a difference there in height. Not super duper noticeable, but not ignorable either. All right, so let's get this wave all together. Overall, not a bad wave. I like it. I like it. It's not the best thing in the world. There are improvements that can be seen here, and honestly, if you've picked up the 3-pack, you don't need a good amount of this wave. I'm not even gonna lie. But you got some nice new stuff going on here. You got some stuff that's for people who may have missed something. Maybe you weren't able to pick up the 3-pack. Maybe the price was prohibitive. You got another chance at your 3 movie Spider-Man. And then you got a really nice upgraded, or a really nice new Spider-Man suit here. And I think with this figure, we now have at least one version of every single Spider-Man suit we've ever seen in the MCU now. We even have the Midtown High version. I'm sure that I'm missing maybe a couple. I mean, I'm sure that not all of the versions we have are completely accurate. But with that figure, I'm pretty sure it crosses off the list of all the Spider-Man suits that we really need. And then you got the Matthew Murdock, who's going to, I feel like, he's going to establish not only a section, a newer, more refreshed Marvel Knights section and help build that out, but also putting him next to the Kingpin, which I forgot to do. My bad. You guys can sue me for that. Hold on. Putting him next to the Kingpin. You got something very cool going on there, and you actually got a cinematic Marvel Knights display that you can start building out. I gotta hit both of these guys with some matte spray though, because this is ridiculous. But yeah, so let's throw these guys up onto the shelf and see how they look. Like, fortunately for you guys, I'm a man of my word. Here are the 3 Spider-Man next to the Green Goblin. And then, as a bonus, here is Sandman next to the black and gold suit Spider-Man. All right, now we can throw them up onto the shelf and get them in context with the rest of the MCU Spider-Man characters, huh? All right, so after 2.5... Wait, hold on, that's completely untrue. After 2 years of waiting, we're finally starting to fill out a No Way Home section of ourself. This movie, being as influential as this movie is, and it being, of course, the pop culture phenomenon in its own right, it was only natural for Hasbro to come back and revisit this movie with a second wave. and I'm sure that we us fans cannot wait for more. There are definitely a lot of proponents to this film that make for great action figures, and even if not great action figures in their own technical right, action figures that would sell regardless. But in this wave, they hit with some of the heavier hitters. They got you to 3 Spider-Men so that you can finish that out, get your heroes out there, and then I feel like now is when they're going to start cranking out the villains. As you can see here, Green Goblin seemed to have dropped around the same time as the wave. We got Sandman there, we got Doc Ock on the way. Who knows how they will release Lizard and, you know, the other characters that we need, like Electro. But all we know is that I bet that they're in their conscious. They're no longer have to wait behind, you know, the production stuff and stuff like that, sort of keeping it behind a curtain, keeping us out of the loop. They let us know how long it takes to make these toys, and as long as they keep on coming out at least as good as this wave, we're eating good with Marvel Legends. So yeah, scale of 1 to 10, I'd give the Sandman figure an 8.5 out of 10, maybe close to a 9 out of 10, because that figure is pretty freaking good. I'd give the MJ figure a 5.5. I'd give the Andrew Garfield figure an 8, only purely because of the fact that the figure is really good. It's just that the head sculpt is like, it's not my favorite. I'd give the Andrew Garfield figure a Tobey Maguire figure, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I'd give the final No Way Home swingsuit figure I'd give that one a 9, 8.5, maybe a 9. I'd give our boy Matthew Murdock solid 9. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe out there. And you guys are probably wondering why Mark II is over here. Look, I'm gonna have this shelf cleaned up, ready in time for the collection video, which will drop before Christmas. All right, the Marvel Legends collection video. But let me just catch up with myself. Let me finish up school. Let me get some time off work, and then I'll get you guys covered with that. But thank you guys so much for this wave. Tell me what you think about it. Did you enjoy it? What are your favorite figures? What are you looking forward to picking up? Stay safe out there, and always remember to be the best. I'll catch y'all.